I'm Mary, and I'm the senior narrative designer on Peaky Blinders, The King's Ransom. So, Peaky Blinders, The King's Ransom takes place between seasons 4 and 5 of the show, at which point Tommy Shelby has just become an MP. So, although he's still in charge of the Peaky Blinders and, a major player in the criminal underworld, he actually has quite a lot of legitimate power. The game kind of plays in that really interesting space between legitimate power and the kind of criminal underworld that the Shelbys are still a part of. So you play as Sammy Taylor. Sammy Taylor grew up in Small Heath alongside Tommy and Arthur. They were childhood friends. And like Tommy and Arthur, Sammy went to fight in World War I. But unlike Tommy, who comes back a war hero, Sammy is a deserter, and the punishment for desertion is death. So Sammy has been on the run from the firing squad for over 10 years. When the game starts, his only option is to turn to his childhood friend Tommy and ask for work. And he tasks you with retrieving Winston Churchill's dispatch box, which contains government secrets and the identities of British secret agents around the globe. As you're hunting down this red box, you kind of delve into this criminal underworld in London and Birmingham. In many ways, we use Sammy to help the player think about how might things have turned out differently for Tommy and Arthur if they hadn't had this wild ascent with the Peaky Blinders and the Shelby Company. What might life have been like for them if they had to stay in the shadows? So as Sammy in the game, the player is doing a lot of things that Tommy no longer has to do, a lot of the dirty work.
None of our boys should be up there.
Polly is very much the matriarch of the Shelby family. She is a lot of power behind the scenes. Polly's most significant scenes in the game take place in the betting shop, which is one of the original centres of Shelby power, and it's very much her domain. In a game, the player is at the centre of the experience. They control everything. So the challenge is to put as much of the story as possible into the player's hands. So they are uncovering narrative by exploration, by interacting with other characters, and by making choices in the world. One of the most important themes from the show is the systemic pressures that all the characters are under. And for example, the Chinese community in Limehouse are under huge pressure. Their community is very small, they face a lot of discrimination, and in order to gain more of a foothold, some of them, led by Feng Ho, involve themselves in organised crime. This is very similar to what the Peaky Blinders started doing. That's how they gain their power, and Tommy wouldn't have the legitimate power that he does if it wasn't through the illegal things that the Peaky Blinders did. In a virtual reality game, as in any game, the more narrative that you can let the player uncover themselves through play, the better. We seeded a lot of the story in the world. You uncover news broadcasts by fixing radios, by finding things in the world and manipulating objects. You can unlock hidden compartments and read people's private correspondence. You can eavesdrop against doors. Through the things people have left behind in this world, the player can start to piece together all the hidden stories that are taking place alongside this main plot.